21 days after a section of the road that connects Robinson and McGregor washed away, the road surface has been fixed and can now be reopened.
A very good afternoon to you, Dan. Well, the officials on the ground here, they were here earlier on. Western Cape Premier Alan Winde, joined by Tertius Simmers. He's an infrastructure MEC here in the Western Cape, was at this very spot here about 3 weeks ago when the devastating floods hit the Western Cape. This section of the roadway washed away, completely cutting off the town of Robertson that is just right in front of us. And here behind me, the roadway leads to the community of McGregor, cutting off those two areas. This is a district very much reliant on the agriculture sector. Lots of production taking place within this area. We're heading to the harvest season now as well, and that was emphasized by the officials on the ground here, Dan, saying that this roadway, the McGregor Bridge that connects Robertson as well as the town of McGregor, vital for the local economy, but more importantly also a lot of the kids that have to leave the farming communities here and have to go to different schools in the area. They've had to make their way across this huge gap that was left here earlier on as a result of the extreme weather conditions we've experienced in the region. Now 21 days later, 3 weeks, the Western Cape officials applaud the collaboration that the officials on the ground here undertook with the agricultural sector. I believe that farmers were also involved in helping to restore this bridge, to reconstruct, helping to excavate some of the soil and all the necessary pieces of material needed to stabilize the area behind us. And by Wednesday morning, that is the official day that has been given as to when this bridge will officially be reopened. We've had a number of motorists already make their way. There's one reversing at the moment, asking whether or not they can already access this road. So there's also a lot of anticipation coming from the community, as well as the McGregor residents now have to travel very far and also have to fork out more money, as the road that they will have to use, the detour road, is much longer and takes much longer than to travel to the town of Robertson. But just listen to what Premier Alan Winde told us earlier when he addressed the crowd of people and the technicians who were gathered here to celebrate more or less the reopening of this roadway between the two towns. Dan?
I just chatted to a young boy who's just coming back from school. The bus would stop on this side and drop them off, and then they'd have to walk and cross the river while this was washed away. And we had 150 roads closed and blocked just 3 weeks ago, and over 80% are now open again. This is now one of the bigger ones. We've still got a few more even bigger ones to go, like the N2, like Clarence Drive and the Himmel and Arder Road, the one behind Franschhoek, the pass behind Franschhoek. Those are big roads still. They're big roads that are big for agriculture, big for tourism, and both seasons are upon us, the tourism season and the agricultural harvest season. So access and mobility is critical.
Kevin, what about other roads in the area that are still closed? Is there any idea of when these would be reopened?
One of the key roads, Dan, is the mountain pass, the R45, just outside the town of Franschhoek. That road is still closed. We also got indication from Tertius Simmers, the infrastructure MEC, who spoke to us, saying that the area outside the Bot River Bridge there on the N2 side, that road also still remain closed. They're in close contact with the officials on the ground there, as that piece of area, that roadway, has also been highlighted as critical to that local community there outside the town of Bot River, and the farmers in that community heavily reliant on having access to that road. Obviously the N2 highway also key for road traffic within that region itself. But a number of roads, the Premier just said that 80% of the roads, about 150 closed on Monday, that first Monday after the storm hit. About 80% of that roads have now been reopened. Ongoing assessments taking place. When it comes to more residential areas, we know that the community of Salaris Pass, about 45 families are still waiting for word from the authorities whether or not they've now found a suitable piece of land to relocate those residents to. Salaris Pass has been emphasized as where the epicenter or the most severe impact of the storm was. About 45 families displaced within the rainstorm that was in that specific community there. But when it comes to road infrastructure, the province says more than 500 million rand in damages have been recorded. Costs obviously continuing, saying that they paid about 2 million rand to have this specific piece of road surface fixed, saying that had it gone out on tender, it would have cost much more, celebrating, of course, the collaborations that they formed here with the local community to ensure, first of all, that it is done at a much lower cost, and secondly, that it is done at a much faster pace, then to ensure that the roadway is being reopened. Just listen to what Tertius told us. Dan?
In the district we are in, the key roads still remain the R43 and the R44, which is the interchange in the Overstrand municipal area. There's also the McGregor Bridge, which connects you to Clarence Drive. Once again, Clarence Drive is still a single lane. It is our focus to ultimately open that. The Franschhoek Pass is still closed. Alternative routes are being looked at, alternative solutions, perhaps a single lane in the very near future. And then, I mean, after you interviewed me last week, the Chapman's Peak opened actually on the same day that you interviewed me. So our key focus areas, we are moving on that. But the McGregor Bridge is one we're going to tick off very soon. It's literally ready for handover. But indeed, you know, the damage is more than 500 million. Earlier today, when I traveled to the Heidelberg area, you know, I actually went to stop at the Bot River to see for myself what Sunrail are doing, because they do project that will take quite a number of months what they are busy there with, but at least it's nice to see the progress 21 days later on that regard as well.
Okay, that update there from Kevin Brandt in the Western Cape, as some of the roads that were affected by the recent flooding are being reopened.